Welcome to the As If That Happened podcast, where we talk about our favorite TV shows, movies, and entertainment. For today's episode, we're talking about a very special Christmas movie, very popular Christmas movie, Elf, starring Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel. I love my Christmas movies and my music, but you chose this, this classic, absolute classic movie, where Will Ferrell stars as plays Buddy, a human elf, and he comes to find his dad, basically bring Christmas joy back into the human world. Why do you love this movie so much?
I know for sure this is going to sound absolutely bizarre because I don't celebrate Christmas, but I do respect the holiday season for it. So Merry Christmas, y'all. Spread that joy up in there. All this and that, the mistletoe kiss, make sure you get that. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But the reason why I chose Elf was it was just very wholesome, very holistic, and very you just wanted that Christmas spirit, even if you didn't celebrate the holidays, or you just want to be a part of it. You get that sense of welcomeness in your little bubble. And especially just seeing Buddy just being himself, trying to find out why isn't he an elf, why is things happening to the world, and him just understanding what a human being is. I found that really funny, especially when he finally met his dad, which is Walter, and just really saying that oh my god, this is actually my dad, blah 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 blah, and knowing that he actually found his birth parents, well, at least one of them, and all the other little bits and pieces that we find out within the movie. It was just brilliant. Again, you mentioned, it's a classic, and being in that kind of category of classics, you can't go wrong with it. And it's I haven't watched a lot of Christmas movies. I think every time that it hits the holidays, I was watch Home Alone, Elf, or even anything that pops up on the TV that's on 9, 10, 7, which generally are all the classics, hypothetically speaking. But I think Elf just really got there. You just had to watch it,
Yeah, it's definitely a very fun movie. I just had this thought now where I wonder if you watch this as a child, because like you said, it's always on every year.
It's always
the Grinch.
Oh yeah, it's the Grinch was there.
Every night once it hits December, we've got new Christmas movies playing. This is one of those that I wonder how you watch it as a kid versus as an adult. I wonder how it would affect you differently, because you have to, I mean, I've watched this sporadically. I probably wouldn't have seen this as much as you have, but I don't remember when I first saw this, and now I'm just thinking, I wonder if I had a different perspective as a child as I do now, as semi working adult.
And
you we've talked about a lot of the times how we're super busy and how we're actually having to carve out the time to talk to each other, to see each other and our families and our other friends, keeping that balance that Walter doesn't seem to have with his other son Michael. He seems like a loving father for sure, but throughout the movie that's a difficulty there. And I just wonder, it's as we watch it as we get older and work becomes a priority. Neither of us have kids right now, so for us that's not a priority. Kids having kids, not having kids, but maintaining that relationship with your kids is not a priority for us right now because we don't have any. So work is easier to prioritize and other relationships. There's not a lot more we have to balance. And I don't know, I just had this thought of like, I wonder if as a kid we're thinking that dad is like so mean, and then as an adult it's like, no, but I kind of get it, but it also is still so
No,
mean.
yeah, I do. I get what you mean. I
You
a
know,
hundred
like,
percent
I
get it.
wonder if it's more confronting watching it,
I feel like,
like, oh
yeah,
shit, I'm doing those things, whereas when you're a kid you're obviously not working, or that's not a responsibility you
like
have,
it's all
so
like fun and games as like
yeah.
kids and everything else. No, I get that because I remember watching it when I'm pretty sure it was like primary, um, or if not like high school, one of those like significant
Mhm.
sections of our lives and everything else. And I remember watching it then. I just found the movie very like lighthearted, fun, and like imaginative. Like I guess it was because it's got like the creative side really like popping out, like that imaginative type like side of like, oh yeah, maybe Santa is real, or like reindeers, or like come here and there, or like some part of the world is like snowing and like everyone's making like snowmans, and like penguins can actually talk or whatnot. But then I remembered when I rewatched it literally like recently, um not only for the podcast but also just like for leisure to just really understood why I enjoyed it. There was a lot of like, it was very like confronting. I can actually say that it's very confronting, just because of two reasons. Knowing that knowing the idea of having to work is actually a thing, because we're doing it on like a day-to-day like base, and we sometimes forget that we're working, and it's just like it somehow just slid in there going like, yeah, this is part of your day-to-day thing, where it's just normalized and everything. And the second one is that with that normalization of like having to work every day and like not realizing that you're working every day until like something really hits you, and it's always like, again, like you mentioned, like having that balance to find time for yourself, for your friends, for your family, like all the little things that make a part of who you are. That's where it kind of came all together. And it's just like, oh my God, like I understand where Walter is coming from and where Michael is coming from as well. And also his wife, um, Emily, where there's that like worry and like wanting like harmony, peace for like the holidays and everything else. Like completely get it. So yeah, like watching it as like me now in like our 20s and everything, like our late 20s, mid 20s, like, okay, what am I talking about? Just in that weird phrase of adolescence, like adulthood, not adolescence, adulthood. Sorry, guys. It really just like it does hit you. And I think that's why it's kind of like, I think that's why this movie in particular, like it's, I guess that's where the iconic side of it comes, is but as you grow up with this movie and watching it through like a different perspective every time you watch it, it makes sense to seeing both worlds and to really understand how, and the reason why all these characters, like how they got influenced for the different scenarios. So like when Buddy met his actual dad, or like when the relationship with his step family, I guess in some way it's his step family, and like how they interacted with him, and how how special one holiday, or like all the holidays within the year, including like birthdays, can really gather and eliminate all that stress, all those worries about work, and really just spending time for like your family. I
Yeah.
think that's what made it really special.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't like say you shouldn't have to work and stuff like that. Like,
Oh yeah, for
um,
sure.
I think it was just bringing back that sort of spirit of the holidays that this is a time for family in that moment. And they bring back that family.
Yeah, it's like the
And
idea of just like family was just a real key for this movie.
speaking of family, like my favorite character is Papa Elf.
Oh, I
And
love
I love
Papa
the
Elf.
I love the contrast of Papa Elf and then his dad Walter is on the naughty list. But anyway, I like this part of the story, but I love Papa Elf. I don't know why, but it's just like that he's willing to have Buddy like sit on his lap even though he's gigantic and going to break his legs. It's like
Oh,
no, but he's still like, you're my kid. No, he embraced his role
as being
so
Papa Elf.
easily and so
Yes.
willingly. He didn't even care that he's not actually an elf or anything like that. Like he was still adamant to have him have a place to belong. Oh, like you were saying before, he didn't know if he belonged as and in the elf world or the North Pole, or if he belonged with the humans. But with Papa Elf, he always had a home, and I just love those. I don't know. I love their relationship. It was so sweet.
I love their relationship. Even when he like grew up, he got his like first kid. It's like, come here, I would like to see you. It's like straight away, bloop. I'm pretty sure, I think in that scene he was supposed to mean the child, not Buddy. But then Buddy came on top and like sat on his lap with his kid. So it's like a 3 lap
Oh, at the
away.
end.
Yeah.
No, but he sits on his lap sort of in the beginning as well when they were having a chat. Like it's a thing they do, apparently. As he was growing
Apparently.
up. As he was growing up, like that's how
Yeah.
they bonded
I
in
just
the
felt
end.
so sorry for him in that scene because all you saw was just his hat. It was like, oh gosh, okay. I guess this is happening again.
But who cares? But the other relationship that's there is the one with Jovi. And I just thought it was such an innocent, newfound relationship. I mean, this guy came from the elf world where he probably had never dated or anything of the sort before. And then he just kind of
He fell for her.
Zoe Deschanel plays Jovi,
Yeah.
character Jovi,
Yeah.
who's a little bit like cynical about the holidays, it feels like she just wants to hustle, which is the reality for many, many people's lives.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like a reality check to it's like I love their relationship and how they kind of met and how he convinced her about well not okay, convince isn't the word, but gave back that holiday spirit into Jovi because he decorated but he decorated the department with things actually inside the facility of the shops. Which I was really surprised that Buddy didn't end up going into the naughty list because of that. Yeah, because okay, he was spreading Christmas cheer, but he's technically human as well. I don't know. I found that it was just some random thing that popped in my head. I'm like, does that mean you're gonna eventually get into the naughty list? Like, even though I've watched it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't go back into the naughty list anytime soon and whatnot. But I just really loved how they really met and how he really like tried to tell her like this is what Christmas is. You need to enjoy Christmas with me and everyone around you and all that. And it just somehow worked. It worked out at the end for them, even though Buddy got in trouble by the manager, I'm pretty sure. I think in my personal opinion, I love Buddy and Michael's relationship, the
I see.
unexpected brother, just because they were all like everyone was really hard accepting Buddy because he kept claiming that he's an elf. When obviously he's not. He's a human living in the human world and all that. But for Michael to really warm up to this stranger who is actually like his stepbrother and having to accept who he is through this one holiday, I just find that so touching, especially especially when they came back with the Christmas tree. Like I've never decorated a Christmas tree, let alone like placed one up and everything else. I can only imagine what it would feel like, but it it just seems like a very magical moment. And especially even though the tree came from like the park, came from the freaking park. Who knows how that happened? But I really loved how their progression as like strangers turned into brothers. And it's not like a wait, you're my stepbrother, so I'm gonna treat you like my stepbrother. It felt seamless.
Yeah, no, I think their relationship is sweet as well, and how he is protective of him. And I think it's all about that, this, like I said, like in these movies, the underlying sort of theme is always that um these holidays are for family and for other, like for your personal relationships, and it's a time to like unwind what has been a very 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 busy year. Like that's what the Christmas spirit is like there's other people to care about in this time. It's
Mm.
really focused on those kinds of relationships, and how like you think that Buddy is this crazy dude, but sometimes you don't follow the, you are a little more optimistic, a little more sugary and sweet, and things turn out okay.
Like his syrup and
I
spaghetti.
Oh my gosh, I might have liked that. Like I said, maybe when I was watching that as a child, I was like, yeah. Although no, I don't think
Oh
I
my
don't think I was crazy enough to
no,
ever think that. I was watching that now and I was
no.
like, that looks disgusting.
My stomach, my stomach was hurtling when I saw those like the
Oh my god.
candy that he was coming all together while he was like calling his dad and everything else. And he's just like, I'll just put a bit of this and then the Pop Tart. Just I'm like, oh god,
I know.
like
Oh,
my mouth was just like, oh no, I
no,
gotta
no,
go
no,
see the
no.
dentist.
Exactly.
I'm
I
like,
mean, you know me,
no.
I like sweets aren't my greatest thing because
Oh yeah.
like I
I
love
would
them in
prefer
like
like
moderation, but seeing this is not moderation.
it was like it almost felt like Halloween, but in a more positive light of Halloween
With a Christmas flavor.
with a Christmas touch of it.
Oh, I
Just
just
like,
couldn't. Oh, I was like, oh
no.
no.
I'm
No,
like,
no,
that
no,
was my
no.
nightmare right there. I'm like, as much as I love a good like candy cane here and there, I'm like, I can't even finish one candy cane because I struggled to open it on the wrapping. It was just too much.
What was your
It
favorite
was
moment then with Michael and Buddy? Like
oh, I have two. I'm gonna say two. They are my favorite combination. Okay, so
Papa Elvis
one
to
of the
mine.
I really enjoyed the the snowball fight.
Mm.
I really enjoyed the snowball fight. Okay, I've only seen snow like probably twice or like three times in my life. One in like New Zealand and the other one is in Japan. Yeah, like the many times I've gone to Japan, like I've seen like snowfall and I've gone skiing. But that one particular like moment where the snowballs are like them having the time of their lives together, even though they're getting like hypothetically bullied with these people just chucking snowballs at their faces. Um, I press like I don't know, it was it just felt so wholesome and like the spark kind of came together. Like that was their sparking moment of like, you might be a weirdo, but I can get you. I get why we're brothers. Like I know that if I'm ever in trouble, I know that you'll be there. And like for Michael to have that like sense of like safety, like that safe house that he's got someone to go to, that's not his parents because him being an only child. Like I'm not an only child, but I can only imagine what an only child would be, for like to have that safe net, or like to someone to like walk in and just be like, hi, I'm here, like tell me absolutely anything. Like that itself is probably the best gift that he's ever gotten. Not much of like having to go on like snowball fights and everything else, but it was, I don't know, it was just great to see that. And got to see kids just like get chucked left, right, and center by a bowl of snow. It wouldn't, I laughed at that when it was like the last kid. And it's like, wait, we missed one. He's not getting away. And then he falls down like dramatically, like, ow. Yeah, so good. So good.
My sort of favorite, or not favorite, but
Yeah, what is your favorite actually?
relationship moment was with Jovi when they had their date.
Oh, I love
It was
that.
because when she first came out, like, okay, first of all, I wouldn't have given this man a chance because he was just in the female bathroom seeing himself. But I love when he
It's
asked
some,
her out, and
yeah.
he's like, do you want to eat? And then when they had their date, and she was like, I don't know, she's she was so accepting of him even though he had these like little weird quirks. And then I love when he like kissed her on the cheek and she's like, you missed. And it's like, what? You
Oh
just seem
my
so innocent. I was like,
God.
oh.
Yes, yes. And it's just like, um,
So he had it all in this movie. I just realized he had the brother, the sibling relationship, the
oh my God, yeah,
romantic
he did.
relationship, the parental relationships, adopted parental relationships. What is Santa to him? Like the adopted grandfather?
I think so. That would be his
Grandpa
grandpa.
Santa?
Grandpa Santa?
As if it's
Yeah.
Papa Elf. This is Grandpa Santa. He did really bring back that sort of Christmas spirit and just that general joy into to all of those relationships. Where in the end, it culminates into a choir to get
Oh my
Santa's
God.
Santa's like,
Yes.
okay. So my only very confused is why were the park rangers like the four horsemen of death? Like the way the cinematic, it
Oh
was
my
so dramatic.
God. It almost felt like Harry Potter for some
I was like,
reason.
how do
Like,
are they not like good guys? Like,
I mean,
are they
I
not?
understand it. Like as soon as Santa's like, oh
The
yeah, they'll
naughty
just put
list.
a naughty list. And like, bro.
they have a grudge.
Yeah, they hold a grudge and every, I'm like, yo, that's, I don't know if this is like kid friendly, because I remember watching that scene as like a kid, and I really thought it was a horror movie. That one split moment,
They really
I'm like,
got,
oh,
because it was
they
like
really got,
tonally, it was
it was
very
really
dramatic.
turned, yeah, right. It was so dramatic. And I guess like back then, like how the movie was like, how the movie was kind of like formatted and everything else, and like the animations, it made it real, like look so realistic as well. So I get why I was a bit scared, because it was so dramatic and like the music was really loud and all this and that. But when I was watching it, like, oh God, I really hope kids don't get nightmares from this.
But yeah, it was just fun. It was just funny watching it, and I was like, huh. I mean, I get it. They really wanted to play off that drama, but it was just funny to see something so um just so random be portrayed that way.
It
But
was so random. I think that's probably the most randomest like part of like a Christmas movie, is that the
I
horse,
have,
like the rangers,
but
had a grudge on Santa because they're always on the naughty list.
it added that light and shade. I think otherwise the movie was all light. But yeah, it was
That is
funny.
true. That's
And
true.
then
That's very true.
they made Santa's sleigh go by singing, which was funny.
When they were full like singing and everything else, it was just, I don't know. I think that's where the magical part actually was. It's like that, like everyone hypes up like Christmas to being something like in its own different formats and like um its own meaning, let it be religious aspect or just like an everyday kind of like get together with your family or whatnot, or for the people who don't celebrate it, we get a free holiday. Oh yeah. But like overall, like it's like whatever the reason Christmas is for each and every one of us, it's kind of like in its own way, it's like a blessing in disguise that it's here to celebrate for whatever the reasoning is behind it and all this and that. But we do have one special question. What is your as if that happened moment in the movie?
I have one
Oh,
very disturbing moment in the movie.
okay. Oh
You
wow. Oh
sounded so
wow.
excited until I said disturbing.
I know.
My as if that happened moment was when he ate gum off the railings.
Oh my god, no way,
I
that
have
was
dropped. I mean, and then he ate cotton balls, like the things this he put in his mouth. I That's it. I'm speechless, but that's it.
mine. Literally, no, I kid you not. I remembered was I'm pretty sure Santa was like, buddy, whatever
It's
you
not
do,
free
don't
candy.
it's not free candy. Don't eat it. And here he is going, oh yum. I'm like, what? Why?
Oh, I'm gonna like the
Oh my
after the first one,
god.
I thought maybe he'll spit it out. When he kept going, I was just like, no, don't
Oh,
keep
it
going.
reminded me of like back in high school where all the like we would always put the gum beneath the table, and as soon as like someone else from like the other classes went into that classroom, we'll touch like the bottom half because we're trying to get in, and it's like
Mm.
you feel something nasty. Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
always
no.
hated that. It's like never touch under your table. Never, ever, ever, ever touch under your table.
Just sit down and that's it. And if you need to move your chair, move the chair, but like from the legs, as if anyone's gonna put gum on the legs. The other one that I had in mind was when Jovi was trying to use chopsticks. I don't know why. I know that I know that like when my friends try and use chopsticks, I they know they naturally struggle. And I'm like, it's okay, I can get you a fork and stuff. Like it's totally fun. But like Jovi, she was just like full like trying her hardest and like she almost failed in like the scene where like the TV or like the news report and everything was coming up and whatnot. And then when she finally got it, she had to bolt out of that scene to meet up with Buddy. And I'm like, damn,
Well,
girl,
practice
you
makes
did
perfect, right? Like I was a really slow.
all right.
Like I could use chopsticks, but oh my gosh, I was really slow. And that's why I always was like, maybe I should get a fork. Otherwise, we're gonna be having dinner for about 3 hours. um, but I mean, now I'm pretty. If I do same myself, I'm pretty good at it. But
Right? I don't
yeah.
know. And that was I felt her. I'm like, oh man, you could have enjoyed your noodles, your plain as noodles, but you have to go to that one state to go and see Buddy. So I'm like, I hope that you remember how to do it after you come back. Because I know that for myself, once I do it, sometimes I forget it.
Well, before you wrap up, thank you for recommending this movie because it was a fun nostalgic ride. Just want
Right?
to wish anyone who's listening Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll be taking a few weeks off of no episodes. We'll be back
Hmm.
in the new year. Hopefully,
Yes.
we'll be back with some new episodes.
2022 hit us up with a blessing.
So yeah, we're excited. We've been having fun doing this. So we'll see what 2022 brings. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I feel like that itself is a good wrap up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, if anything, we are like, we have been unexpectedly like enjoying these podcasts, is like whoever's listening out there and whatnot. Like, again, when I said at the beginning, if you guys did listen to our little teaser as to what the podcast is and whatnot, expect the unexpected. And this podcast was very unexpected for us to continue and to just talk about like these old movies and whatnot. Like, definitely 2022, we're gonna try and hit up those like newer kind of scenes, newer kind of movies, all this and that. As we always end our podcasts, is let us know down in the comment, would you watch Elf today, tomorrow, or within the Christmas period where you have time off? And if Elf isn't like on your radar for like the Christmas list, let us know what your favorite Christmas movie is. I don't exactly have one. I just enjoy watching majority of it. Like Elf and Home Alone is probably up there, but I'm pretty sure there's other Christmas movies out there. Like, Shai, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
At the moment, I've been watching Klaus. It's an animated Netflix movie. I think it's different, and it's heartwarming at the same time. I don't know. I just really enjoy watching it.
With it being Christmas, I think we're gonna spice up our ending. Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy holidays. And also have a wonderful New Year's.
Oh, that's right.
So, guys, do stay safe wherever you are in the world and spread that Christmas joy near and far. And we'll see you all, not until next time, but we'll see you next year in the whole brand new 2022.